Hey, this is Kirsten Pankratz. Welcome to Poplar Spring Farm. I just dug up the first sweet potato plant of the fall with the kids. Actually, doesn't really feel like fall out here. It's just hot and humid. But sweet potatoes are a fall plant. We just dug one of them a little early because we have apples that I want to use up with the sweet potatoes. So we got 10 or 11 sweet potatoes from one plant, and I have, I think, 60 or 60 something plants out there that we started. I started them all from sweet potatoes from last year's harvest. So this is something that didn't cost us a dime because we didn't have to buy the starts, and we don't fertilize or buy anything to put in there. We make our own soil and all that. So what I am really wanting to emphasize, though, is that the importance of good soil cannot be overstated. Sweet potatoes and anything you're trying to grow in the garden, it just really needs the light, friable, really healthy, nutrient-dense soil. So my soil, it's not perfect. It's going to be better every year. But we work on that, we focus on that. I have videos and I explain how we do that. We do that with mulch, which is our own product here. I don't buy anything in. We mulch with grass clippings, and we use some stuff that comes out of the barn, but that we don't really mulch with that. We normally just use that to make good soil that we put into the chicken pen. So I'll be showing more of how we make good soil with the chickens, but a big part of what we do is we make good soil using the chickens, and then we take that soil out of the chicken pen and we put it in other parts of the garden, and then we actually plant where we ran the chickens. And I've been telling people about this for years, and I try to get as many people on board with this idea as I can because it works so well. And the yield that we get from the plants that we grow is almost always amazing, really. I can only keep up with a garden so big. It is fairly big, but we're a family of 10, so we need a ton of food. And I buy very, very little from the grocery store. I get from Azure Standard, I buy bulk, my grains, sugar, honey, buy coffee, stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, we just really don't buy much at all. So that means that I have to get a lot of food out of our garden. And how I do that is really focusing on the soil. And I know that seems super boring. When I started gardening years ago, I mean, I grew up gardening with my mom. And so some of what, and my brothers and sisters and, my whole family was involved with that. But I learned a lot from my mom. And, but when I started gardening on my own, I thought focusing on the soil is boring as all get out because I want to focus on the plants. But then I realized that really to have the good plants, you really need to focus on the soil. And then you get the joy of having plants that are growing well. And if you're doing your work with the soil initially and you're getting that done, and you're continuing to keep up with that, continuing to mulch and add organic matter that will break down, like leaves, chopped up leaves, grass clippings, old hay from the barn, and stuff like that. If you keep up with that and you do your maintenance with that, then you get the joy of working with plants that are really healthy and the really great excitement of harvesting a crop that often exceeds your expectations. So I just want to encourage you, if you have bad soil, which I would sort of imagine that most places have bad soil, though my understanding is Midwest, it's just really good. So maybe maybe y'all are in something different there and you don't need to do what I'm doing. But I'm in the South, I'm in Southern Virginia, and we have hard clay. And if you just plant in hard clay, you're gonna have a problem. So it just has to be built up. And so this is how I do it. I've been very pleased with the outcome of doing it like this. And every year, instead of when you just plant in your native soil and you don't do anything to it except maybe throw some fertilizer in there, then your soil becomes more and more depleted. But with this method of actually building the soil and adding organic matter and running the chickens and adding the manure from that, every year the garden actually gets better and better. So my yields get better and better, and it's very encouraging. And so I just want to encourage y'all to think about, you don't need to do exactly what I do. You do what fits your area where you live and the animals you have. Like we have animals in the barn. We didn't used to have where we can muck out the barn, but now we do. We run chickens in the field in the summer. We run them in the garden in the winter. We used to run a ton of pigs, and wherever we ran them in the field in the spring, we'd pick up all the hay from where they bedded. And now we're not running as many pigs, so we don't have that. But you just work with what you have. Your place isn't going to look like my place. You have different animals, you have different soil, you have a different garden. But I encourage you to use the animals to make your garden better, and use mulch and organic matter and what you have on hand. I'm not encouraging you. I mean, if you want to buy stuff in, that's fine. That's what your decision is. I never encourage people to just go spend a bunch of money. I think you can do really well kind of using what you have naturally at your place. Maybe not. Maybe you need to make a different decision on that. That's fine. But I try to use just what we have on hand. So what I do is going to look a little different than somebody else because I use what we have. I encourage you to do the same thing, but just build your soil with organic matter. And if you have animals, use them to help you with that. So I'm going to quit talking, and I'm going to show you what we just did with the sweet potatoes. All right, here are my sweet potato plants. I think I have about 60 in here. And if you saw my videos when I planted, I plant sweet potatoes really close together. And the first ones I planted are right in there. That's where we're going to be digging. We're only taking one plant out, I think. That's kind of my plan, because I have some apples to use up. When we got the peaches that are seconds, I got a box of apples that are seconds, and I didn't expect them to go bad so quickly. They were pretty bad seconds. So we need to use them up. I was hoping we could just eat them, but we need to actually just use them for cooking. So we are going to make a sweet potato apple bake. And I got a couple helpers here. Come here, Caroline. Bring those baskets over here. All right, Caroline. We want to be really careful not to step on the vine, okay? At least try not to step on it more than you have to. All right? Okay. This looks pretty good over here. Can you come over here, Caroline? See if you can come in. Even if you step on the vine a little bit, just try to be careful. All right, this is the first one we planted. It's pretty stuck in there. Let me dig down a little bit. All right, this vine belongs to something else. You go that way. All right, right here, we are gonna see if I can keep from cutting anything off. Whew, these are really stuck down in here. Ground is rock hard right now. All right, Caroline, you want to come over here and start pulling them out? Let me get a little looser and I'll let you and Jimmy both pull them out, okay?
Mama, look at that pretty flower.
That is pretty. That is the sweet potato flower, and they're really, really pretty, aren't they?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I got this pretty loose here. This is one of the first ones that I planted in the spring. And you can see it has a lot of sweet potatoes on it. So I've kind of got it loose, hopefully loose enough. I'm gonna see if the kids can take them out of there without breaking them. Caroline, do you want to try to get them too, or just Jim? Because he can just fill your baskets if you want.
Okay, you hold the baskets.
All right, so one, count them as we go here.
1,
They look like they're pretty big ones.
Yeah, nice big ones.
Okay.
3, 4.
You can fill both baskets if you need to, yeah.
5, 6.
Oh, those are nice sweet potatoes.
Ooh.
And I don't know what variety this is. We've just been starting
7.
our own from the previous year's harvest for so many years. Oh, is it too heavy, Caroline? You want me to help you with that?
How many was that? 6 or 7?
I don't know.
7.
We can recount.
So it's probably 8.
Okay, is that the last one right there? Looks like a big one. Is it stuck?
No, it ain't.
Okay. Ooh, it is big. All right.
9.
So that, okay, one more little one? Oh no, another big one. Wow, 10? Might need to put it in the other basket. Caroline, can you even hold all that? That's probably all, Jim.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Big one. Not very big though.
Okay, that's all right.
It's 11.
Even if we don't eat it, the rabbits will eat that one.
Yeah. And if it's too many for the rabbits, the pigs will.
Yeah.
Help me.
Caroline, is that heavy, sweetie? I'll bet that's it, Jim. Sweet potatoes grow right there where they're not going to they're not going to be deep like white potatoes. All right, guys.
You're the heavier one.
So hold those baskets up so we can see what you got there. And that is from one sweet potato plant, y'all. I should probably weigh those and see what it comes to.